Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. Back with round 27. And with me, as always, Mr. Mark Shakespeare. How are we doing?
We're cracking on, mate. We're cracking on. We're doing good.
We certainly are. We're rifling through them.
Just keeps going, don't we, mate?
Shall we, do you want to tell the listeners who we've got this week?
Yeah, we have, mate. It were down to Mr. Carl Wilde to get this guy in.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the one and only Billy Boyle. And we'll let you tell him his nickname, because you like that, don't you?
I do like this one. He's the people's poet.
And there's one thing for sure, they didn't want him to have that name, did they, Jim?
No.
But he was determined to have it, wasn't he?
He explains that, doesn't he, in episode. Brilliant interview again. He made the short trip from Sheffield up to see us, didn't he? Another Wednesday night.
I know. A few of them knocking about, isn't there?
Plenty of them. As always, guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, give it a share. Every little helps us. We just want to keep these going. And in fact, check it, the next episode that should be released after this one should be coming from our trip to Birmingham this weekend.
Oh, hopefully so, mate. Yeah, it's all planned. Boss has let me out for today, hasn't she?
She's a good one.
So yeah, we'll be off to Birmingham, and hopefully a couple of really good fighters to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully we'll stay clear of that clean air zone.
Yeah, we need to do, don't we, mate, this time?
As bank balances, definitely need to do that.
Definitely, mate, yeah. But we've got a good one, like I said, with Billy Boyle today, mate. I met him a couple of times before he actually come on the show. The day I was meant to be coming on the show, his partner actually gave birth.
Oh, yeah?
Well, she didn't give birth on that day, but she was due to give birth on that day. So I don't think it would have been appropriate to get him in on that. So, but thanks for rearranging, Billy. We appreciate it. And I hope all's going well with family. And yeah, great fighter. Bring me some good names like Nathan Cleverly. And I always remember him in the old Prizefighter. I think he got a tough draw with Tony Oakey in that first round. It was a close fight. And I think that'll worthy of the final, the Prizefighter, that was.
Yeah.
And I think if he had a better draw, I think he might have got to that final. Yeah. But yeah, great guy. Also a paratrooper as well. Tough man.
Oh, yeah.
So he had to talk about that a little bit. And he likes to have a little wind up about Ross Birkinshaw. And it's all in good fun, Ross, don't worry. There's no hard feelings at all, but it's all good fun, and I think you'll appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, so, well, let's go and get Billy in.
Yeah, let's get him in.
Well, shall I start with that comment that Ryan Hardy left on Instagram?
Well, I haven't read this comment, so I think we should start.
It's because he's ginger, so he will say something abusive.
No, he actually said, I think I posted a photo of you two when you met last time.
Yeah.
And he said, we'd said, like, future guest on show, and Ryan Hardy commented, ask him about when he battered a blade.
Oh, yeah. Depends where this is going. Which one now? I don't know which one he means to me. There has been a couple. To be fair, I got arrested for both, but obviously one I didn't do and one he started it, so I don't know if he's on about one in Park. Genuinely did go with no intention of getting involved with all. So I went on my own and another kid. I don't know if I should mention. Well, he was here anyway. He was here with me mate, older mate, and we were just walking through Park. And then what I thought at the time there were like 20 or 30 youngish kids, like 20-odd-year-old lads. Well, Wednesday's like main mob had gone up other side, and we were walking through Park. And then they decided to come through Park, and then they sort of charged towards us. Then we realised they were going to go for us. There were me, this other kid who can have a scrap, and about 3 or 4 others. then loads of normal Wednesdayites just shouting like pig and stuff like that to him. Obviously, they were getting it back. And cut a long story short, they were coming towards us and there were loads of them and they were saying, come on, boys, this is enough for us, this is enough for us. And then a big meathead come from side. I knew coppers were there, so it was stupid. He come from side, put his finger up, pointed at me. Just as he said something, I turned around and just hit him twice. And best way I can put it is, you know, like Di Canio when he pushed that referee. Like I say, he's a big bloke, and I don't want to slate him because he didn't do no wrong. I hit him, and he like stumbled back, but he stumbled back about 5 or 6 times further than he would if he'd have gone down and got back up. And then when he got back up, he run at us. So then me and this other kid went, well, obviously, to go for him. Coppers run up, hit me square on bollock with baton. But I don't know if there's something wrong with me or what. It doesn't hurt straight away. It hurts just as much later on, but it doesn't hurt straight away. So I turned around, goes, what are you doing? Fucking, he's fretting, sorry for swearing, fretting to knock me out. What am I supposed to do? Anyway, I got nicked, got away, and as I'm walking to the cop car, it then kicked in pain. So I had to like stop. Coppers were they were all right, to be fair, coppers. They were laughing, saying all this, and then they know about boxing and that. They were saying, oh, we've got Prizefighter, this, that, and other. Then I got in there, and obviously I got charged, but I got charged with threatening behaviour. But obviously, when it went to court, you could see that they'd all run at us and he put his finger up. So if it's that one he's on about, it's that.
It's got to be that one, hasn't it? He's an absolute bastard, you know, right? I mean, he's got a question for everybody, Billy, and some people can say no comment.
But no, I say I got nicked for that. It went to court, so I'm not going to get done for out here.
Good lad.
That were about 2010.
We moved on and matured from them, mate, haven't we?
I've moved on, definitely. I don't go to matches anymore because it's just daft.
We don't know, do we, mate?
Not really. I mean, well, we do this Saturdays mostly, innit? We're only doing this, so I'd rather turn my phone off and turn it back on at full time and see what score is.
No, I don't know why, but I got in stupidly. Got into my head when you go at matches, if somebody's screaming at you, going to knock you out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. To me, if they're going to go for you, it's quite all right. It's not, but it's quite all right to hit them first. But obviously, that's why. And to be fair to one at Wednesday Coppers, Tom Carr, I rung him from another occasion and mentioned, not as bad, but anyway, and he just said, he goes, I'd rather you didn't come. He says, because you will do something. He says, and you'll get nicked all the time. So he says, well, just do that. So you're better off staying away. So I have. But I wouldn't do nothing like that anymore.
No, we all grow up, mate, a bit, don't we?
Like I said, that's not slating kid. He'll know who he is, but it's not slating him because it was just one of them things.
You never know. He might ever listen. You never know, do you, mate? But before you're boxing, mate, we're in army, weren't we?
Yeah.
We're a bit of an army, we're a para, weren't we?
First past that training when I was 17, went to 2 para. I was here for about 10 months in Belfast, but it was like a residential tour. I went on recruiting team because I got injured, but that's a daft story. Somebody pissed about and poured petrol on us, but anyway. I got 10 grand for it, so it wasn't that bad. But obviously, I was on sick for quite a bit, like a month or so. But then I went on recruiting team. That was regular. We used to get paid we were only on 30, 40 quid a day.
Yeah.
But they used to pay you for your food and lodgings. So you go down town centres, you do unarmed combat displays, like in front of like loads and loads of people. You get paid 30, 40 quid a day extra. So all you were doing was just going on piss every night, and did that for nearly like a year. Then it come back that I had to go back to, well, I didn't have to go back. I had to pick a battalion to go back to. It was 1 para or 3. So obviously, because they were going to Ireland. So I picked 3 para to go back to, and I went with them. So I stayed with them for most of my time, about 5, 6 years with them. We're in nearly 8 years.
It's a long time, that, mate, isn't it? Did you serve anywhere else?
Went to Ireland 3 times, Kosovo, and then obviously went just on exercise like Canada, places like that. But Canada were good, and America, Kenya. No, sorry, I didn't go to Kenya, I'm lying. Towards me last, when I was getting out, because I was a signaller, I went in signal, I went in recce platoon, but they used to come down and ask me to go away with them. So if part of the battalion were going anywhere, so like every weekend for last month, I went to like Germany, Italy, Slovenia and places like that, because it just kept coming down for me to go. So I got here for a week. So I went everywhere in it last like a year or so.
Very good then, mate.
Did you get to see much at places?
Like Canada we did. Canada were brilliant because we were here for 6 weeks.
Right.
It's like first time I'd ever been anywhere as good as that. It's like in this country, they found out you were in the army. If you were queuing up to go into a nightclub, bouncer would come down and say, no, you're not coming in.
Right.
In Canada, we were queuing up to get into a nightclub and these big, massive meatheads were coming down saying, anyone British Airborne? So we were like, just ignoring them. Mate, come on, you like British Airborne? We were like, So we turned around, thought they were going to start because we'd had enough. Went, yeah, we are. And they went, oh, come with us. So we're following them into nightclub thinking, what they done here? Obviously one of the lads has done something. You'd go in, bouncer would be like, these aren't paying, first drinks on house.
Oh.
So we were like, what? So you'd go in and you get your drinks for, like your first drink for free. And then, well, obviously we'd lie and say we hadn't had his first drink. So we get another one. But no, they did look after us here.
Oh, that's good.
It's nice to hear that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you should. You deserve a lot because I can imagine it's one of the toughest being in paras, mate. It's not all, drinking and smiling, is it, all the time? We'll start off. So would you say kind of what best place you went then, Billy?
Yeah.
In the paras, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I said when I come out, we did close protection, went to Iraq and did that for like about 18 months. And then obviously that's when I started boxing. But yeah, Canada were definitely best place. Norway were coldest, obviously, but yeah.
I think Scarfe is thinking about signing up for paras now, Going out drinking every night, getting to front at bar with free ale.
I could deal with that.
I think he's Googling it as we speak, Billy. Does he?
So you didn't get boxing until later on then?
No.
How did that come about?
Well, I always thought I was too old when I was 18 to start boxing. Just thought, now I've missed my chance and all the rest of it. Then obviously when you were in Paris, we used to do milling, which if you've ever seen me box, is basically if you ducked, you were scared, or you threw a jab, there was something wrong with you. You were supposed to have a minute where you just pummeled each other. And the idea of that is that you get hammered, but you still keep going forward because that's what they wanted. But obviously when I come out and I went to Iraq, come back from there and we're in a local pub where a kid who used to box, Neil Booth. And he's a bit older than me, he's proper tough kid. And we were not messing about and he was saying, I'll take you down boxing, I'll knock you out, I'll do this, that and other. So I went, all right, had a drink, yeah, go on then. I went down. She said to Glim Rhodes, like nobody else would ever allow it. Glim Rhodes, yeah, you can spar. He's absolutely levered me because I had no idea what I was doing, but I enjoyed it. So obviously I kept going down and that's just went on from there.
You must have had some good spars in that gym, mate. I mean, we've had Carlin, Wayne in, Ben Davis has been in there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
There was some good quality sparring in that. I bet you could pay to go watch some of that sparring in there, mate.
Say, Cole probably broke my nose every time we sparred.
He did he?
Honestly, every time he threw a jab, he couldn't miss, man. Well, I haven't got a big nose, I must have a big head, but every time he was throwing it, it'd connect and my nose would just splatter. At first, obviously, your eyes going like that, and then after a bit, it just pours with blood. You just didn't even notice that we were doing it. But he had him, Jez Wilson. I'm not just saying this either, but Jez used to hit you with a left hook, and when I was boxing, it didn't used to. He'd get a proper when he hit you. He had him, Clinton Woods. He started coming down. I'm trying to think of all others that we had. I can't think of them now I'm sat down. But
I understand why Carl wanted to get you on show now. He knew you were going to mention you, but he brought you know every time, Billy, wasn't he?
If you watch Carl spar, you'd be like, he's like holding his own again. Well, I don't mean that in disrespect to Clinton Woods, but if you put me in with Clinton Woods, you could see straight away one's a pub fighter, one's a world champion. But like with Carl, he'd like almost hold his own. He was probably one of, if he could box how he sparred, he'd have been, I don't know, he'd have been British champion or something like that. He were good.
I think that's why we called him a gatekeeper, didn't we? Because he were always up at that level, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But So you're saying that when you went with Clinton, it was a man versus a boy with you then, Billy?
We were like, Clinton come down and it was just like a normal bloke had come down. It weren't like a world champion. He were talking to you like he were all right, pal, how you doing? Oh, like, he weren't one of these, like, wouldn't acknowledge you because there were like some blokes like that, but not in our gym, to be fair. But he'd come down and spark Clinton. Go on, you can get in with Clinton. Spar with Clinton. I'm like looking at him thinking, what's he on about? So go on, get in. You want to spar with Clinton, don't you? Obviously, to me, son, I'm like, of course I want leverage. You get in with Clinton, and he wouldn't take piss at all. He'd just let you. And obviously, I used to box. I used to like pressurise and put on him. Clinton would be like, we'd both be giggling. And then what he'd do is he'd like, old dirty chicks like stand on your foot and push you or punch you on hip. He punched you once on hip, his leg went like wobbling all over. It were brilliant. Well, Clinton, to be fair, to have down at gym. Never learned off him apart from pain, but yeah.
But one thing, he might be a better boxer, mate, but he's not a better plasterer than these.
Oh, he can't plaster.
But he thinks he can
No.
he? I've heard about this. I've heard he's a plasterer.
He did say once he reckoned he were a plasterer, and he said to me, "Am I all right plastering on top of wallpaper?" And he's going to deny that, but that's 100%. Can you get away with it? I went, until you get paid and then run off and change your number.
So we'll have that. We'll call it 1-1. We're going to call it a draw then, mate. He might give you some thumpings in sparring, mate, but he can't plaster like thee, mate, can he? That's one thing for sure. So when we went into career, mate, 29 fights in total.
Yeah.
Would you like to have done a few more, or were you happy with that 29?
I'd have liked to have, because I know this sounds bad because you get people who love boxing. I liked it, but it was for money.
Yeah.
Because I were 30, nearly 31 when I turned pro.
That's very late, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was 30 when I had my first amateur fight. But if he could have fought, because I found out you could fight every week, or if you fought on Friday, you could box the following Saturday. So I found that out, so I thought I should be doing that every week. So that's all I wanted to do. Because obviously I'd get best part of a month's wage every time for 12 minutes, 15 minutes.
Well, like I said, your record wasn't bad, though, to be quite fair, to say you wanted to be on road and fighting every week, mate. Like you said, 13 wins and 16 losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we'll get on to them later on. I mean, as your career went on, you had some cracking fighters, didn't you, as you go on? But Scarfe always likes to know the nicknames, right? And I went on BoxRec. Sometimes it's wrong. Right? Is it right or not right? I've got down here the People's Poet.
He's right, yeah.
Explain to Scarfe.
Glyn was saying, you've got to have a name for boxing. I goes, I'm not having one. So he goes, we'll call you the Beast, Billy the Beast Boyle, because I'm not being called a sex offender, no. So he's going, you've got to pick a name, So I just thought, and I remembered Rick Mail had it, Young Ones. So I went, all right then, People's Poet. So Glyn went, you're not having People's Poet, I'm not having a nickname then. So he went, we'll call you the Bomb. I goes, you're not calling me Bomb, I'm People's Poet. So I was joking, I went round and telling people People's Poet. And then obviously when one of the programmes come out, my name wrote it People's Poet. I thought, sound, I'll keep that.
I think Scarfe will put that in his top 5.
I love that. That's quality, that is.
Scarfe would have said to me, if you're still going, Shecky, get down to Blackford's and get a T-shirt made for Billy.
We had Nick Firth got these T-shirts made for us. We had Nick Firth tiles, Billy Boyle, the People's Poet.
Brilliant.
So he gave me 50. And he went, well, what am I going to do with them? He went, give him all your fans, he put it. So I'm not giving me mates, they'll take piss at me. Anyway, I get him, like a couple of my mates always used to go everywhere with T-shirts on.
I'd have worn them. We got any left?
I think I get them all away. I think they did end up having them.
Right, get another line on them, mate.
Well, when I boxed later on Prizefighter, John McDonald's I don't know if you know him, John McDonald. He's ex-one para. They come in straight away as ours, and obviously, because like Reg blokes always like make a beeline for each other.
Yeah.
And at first, you're always, is he making it up? He's not really. And then obviously, we both cottoned on, we were telling the truth. Then he went, what's your nickname? So I told him, he went, I'm not announcing you as that. I went, that's my nickname. He goes, I'm not announcing a Paratrooper as a people's poet. So when he announced me on that, he announced me as, I should know it because it's part of what Montgomery wrote about Paras. Billy Boyle, Every Man an Emperor, and something else. I can't remember it now. I should have wrote it down. I see.
I bet people will be Googling it and finding that fight.
Like everyone watching it who were ex-Para Reg knew what it meant because it was Billy Boyle, Every Man an Emperor. I think that was it. Or Billy, Every Man an Emperor Boyle. So obviously everyone else in the audience looking at each other, what's he on about? And everyone else, like Reg blokes, were all laughing, texting me next day. Because I didn't tell him to do that.
Brilliant, mate. That's good, mate. So we started off with a right start to your career, Billy. 11-0 to start off with, mate.
Yeah.
Came with your debut against David Ingleby. Where was that then? I never, obviously, some talent, but I didn't know. Where was that? Can you remember?
It was at Grosvenor in Sheffield.
Right.
Hotel, it's knocked down now, and I don't know what it is now, but it come out with that. He got called in day or two before, because I was supposed to be fighting somebody else who wanted a fight or rest, like turning pro. But before fight, Glyn knew that I could sell tickets just because the first amateur fight, what happened on that, which... But anyway, he phones us a couple of days before Glyn, or saw him at gym, and he said, we might have to pull the show. We hadn't sold any tickets. Obviously, he had to sell 60 tickets, and I don't think lads had done many. So he said to me, how many tickets have you done? So I went, about 150, 180, something like that. And he
That's
went,
a lot, that, mate.
And he goes, how many have you sold? How many have you got money for? So I said 150 or whatever it were. He went, not a chance. I went, all right then. So obviously, he goes, wait, fight's on then if you've done them. So obviously, Ron with Dave, that kid, he pulled out and I ended up with him. But with that Dave Ingleby, this is Glyn Rhodes all over. He'll know how to wind people up to get best out of them.
Yeah.
And it's Dave Ingleby. When it ring, Glyn looks across ring and he's big bloke. He's, I don't know what height it were, just under 17 stone. Well, I got weighed and Glyn went, keep your clothes on. I went, what? Keep your clothes on here, put them in your pocket, 2 water bottles. Put them in. Anyway, it gets weird. I don't know what I weigh, like 14 stone. So I go, that's all right. I goes, why, what's he? And he was like nearly 17 stone. I went, it'll be all right. Anyway, it gets it ring. Glyn like whispers in my ear when he's in there. Obviously, first fight, you'd be expecting to say, don't worry, just move, just do this, just that. Glyn turned round and went, size of him. I went, he's a big one, innit? And he went, are you scared? And he went, just as he's getting out at ring, and I went, no, I'm not bothered. And he went, I'd be absolutely shit if he said if I were you. Oh, I looked at him, you what? He got out at ring and went, oof. I thought, I looked at him, I thought, I'm absolutely battered him now, like Dave Ingham and not Glyn. Anyway, I did all right, I beat him, but I just thought that's typical Glyn. Like other kids, he had to say, oh, don't worry, just do this. With me, he was just winding me up, trying to get best out of me.
Yeah, sure, a good debut with that for you, mate. And then after that, you fought John Smith with your first TKO, mate.
Yeah.
Was that a good one to get your first stoppage?
Yeah, he told us a few days before, down at Bristol, drove all the way down there at Bristol City's ground. I don't know if I should say this, but because I were a pillock years before, and I say I don't mess about with all like this now, I got a football banning order. You're not allowed to enter any football ground or out, but but it did say under football spectators, like 1989 Part B. I always remember that. But so anyway, I'm going to Glyn. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. So Glyn went, "Oh, you'll be all right." Anyway, boxed him and went down thinking, "Well, I'll be all right. I'll do what I do, whatever. Pressure him, get best out of it, see what goes." Anyway, I think I stopped him in. I don't know if I dropped him once and he got back up, and then I stopped him and he got up and shook his head. Up way out at ring, this old bloke, oldish bloke, come up to me and goes, I thought he was saying, oh, well done, kid. And he went, you can fight me over some when he turns pro. I went, what? And he went, I go, yeah, all right, mate, yeah, thanks. Yeah, you can fight me over, son. See if you get away with doing what you've just done then. I went, oh, and then Glyn pushed me out of the way and he were having a go at you because you've just beat his lad or something like that. I went, all right.
Yeah, that's not the first time that get mentioned, mate. But yeah, good stoppage win that, mate. And then we'll cut on a little bit, but I like this because you had 2 Leeds lads, didn't you? And you sorted them both out, didn't you? Which I quite like. Sorry, Leeds. I know our lads' family are from Leeds, and but it's always nice to get one up on the big city, isn't it? And were it in Sheffield? Were it Lee Mountford?
No, that were it.
Where was that?
Doncaster Dome.
Doncaster Dome, that's it. I knew it were local.
Yeah.
And that were a good win to have, mate. Like it says, did you sell a few tickets for that one, you?
Yeah. I used to do, on average, about 2 to 250 tickets.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's something else, that.
Yeah.
Can I put that on record that they're probably the biggest ticket seller we've had in
I think
I used to do more than Ross, so it used to wind him up.
Don't tell Ross that. Oh, God. He'll be on phone to us in a minute. He'll be saying, right, I'm coming in, I sold 251.
I did it once. I think most I did were about 280, something. But yeah, I used to average about 250. But what I used to do with tickets is when everyone had a drink, they'd say, oh, I'll have 5, I'll have 5. So obviously 2 days later, they wouldn't answer the phone or all like that. But I used to say to him, if you're ordering 5, you've got to pay for them because I've got to pay for them. So you can't change your mind. So they were like, yeah, no problem. So obviously a few days later, I think, oh, God. So anyway, that's how I get them to pay. Because I'd say, well, I've paid for them. Oh.
That's a good little tip.
Guilt
Yeah, good little tip that for any young'uns coming up who need to sell tickets. Yes, definitely the biggest ticket seller we've had. So was it a good win, that one then, mate? Were there any...
Yeah, it was... I say he were a nice enough bloke, apart from the fact he kept punching me. But they sold me with a Sky show. They said sell loads of tickets. So obviously get them all on. You'll be on first before the main bout. Because all my mates were bothered about is drinking, and to be honest, that's all I wanted to do after that fight. So my mate's dad, Paul Carr, his dad, Steve Carr, he used to sponsor us, and he used to do out for you. I never asked him for it because I didn't like it, but he'd offer it straight away. He put a coach on for everyone in minis, bought loads of tickets, but then gave me money back. I was like, I don't understand what you've done. What he meant is then you can just give him away. Yeah. So he was right generous like that. But so obviously I don't fight. They're all ringing me up, what time you're on? I goes, I don't know. It should be before the main event. Anyway, they got there, sat there for 3-4 hours, whatever it were. By the time I got in, they were taking all lights down above the ring. It was that last fight. They all had a ring going. I know what I can do about that.
Oh, dear.
Because you used to get that. If we put you on first, all people come to watch you will go home.
Yeah, and I suppose if you're on a big show as well, it's actually on televised. If you sold 250 tickets, they want them 250 people with bums on seats, so it makes their show look good.
Yeah. Well, that's what he used to do. Because my idea, that one at Bristol, he used to do this every fight. We're going to have to get off early. He used to go up to him and say, his missus is about ready to drop. So obviously we need to get him on first. And obviously it got to end where Glyn, they were saying that Glyn, they turned around and said, Glyn, he must have about 120 kids because every time one of your boxers come, they're about to drop. So obviously it works at first, but it won't work on them shows.
No, not after that then, mate. And then after that, mate, we had another Leeds lad and it says TK on record, Clint Johnson.
I thought he was from Manchester, Clint Johnson.
Did you? It says Leeds.
Oh, it might be. Clint the Body Johnson.
Yeah.
Carl had fought him and Clinton had fought him. And I think Carl had won. I think Clinton had won, obviously. I think Clinton stopped him at third round. I stopped him at second. So that makes me better than Clinton.
That's straight. Clinton won, Billy 2. Right.
But we were at Grosvenor and all lads from work were here. And I say it was end of November 2007. I think it were, it were. And obviously he's coming down to the ring, sizing him, and he's got be careful how I say this, I sound a bit suspect, but he's got a body that every bloke could want.
Yeah. And
he's coming down to the ring, and apparently all my mates are like, Jesus, he's going to get absolutely battered about me. He's going to get absolutely battered. Got him ringing, and I say, we'll cut everything. I had a little pot belly. But like straight away, as soon as bell gone, I used to get taught with Phil Wood with amateurs. First punch you throw, don't bother with a jab, just throw a big haymaker. He used to work at first, obviously, until you got up to a decent level. Obviously, he come out, like, stood there thinking he's going to throw a jab. He went, bang, caught him. You could see him thinking, I don't like that. So then he kept holding on, because he kept going, to be fair, but then I think it was second round. I just kept hitting him with his head, like on it, as if it were on a bobble thing.
Like a bobble, go up
and he just stopped it.
Kept bouncing back up. We'll have to find that out, actually. I'm sure someone will know out there, but I thought you were from Leeds for some reason, Clint Johnson.
Oh, because I remember him coming out onto ring to I would walk 500 miles. So I turned round to Glyn and I went, he's only come from Stockport. What's he on about?
Right then, maybe we're from Leeds and he lived over there, or I'm sure someone else. Scarfe is a statistician. Yeah, I'm sure he'll come back.
I think I thought a boxer kid called Nielsen. I think he were from Leeds.
Yeah.
And that were in between.
Right.
Well, no, yeah, it were after Lee Mountford.
Yeah. That sounds about right, mate. Now, I always get, every time, right, I have an interview, there's always one boxer I write down, and I don't pronounce his name properly. Now, I know him, I've seen him fight, and I used to like watching him. I used to know him as the Ox. I used to call him the Ox, right? He was a proper road warrior. Is it Nick Ocker?
Nick Orkoff.
Orkoff, that's how you pronounce it then. Thank you for that, Billy, mate.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him the Ox. Because he were a tough cookie, wasn't he?
Oh, I broke my hand on his head.
Yeah. He were always known as a tough cookie. He's one I'd like to get on show, actually. I have messaged him, but I'm only on, as we've said before, Facebook, and I think last time I posted were about 2019, so I take it that account's not really up and, but yeah, I'd like to get the Ox on at some point, because he were a tough one, and I wanted to know what you thought of him.
I think he were an ex-Marine, and he were a fireman.
Right.
So obviously, when I got in, paras against Marines, weren't it? So I thought, no way I'm going to lose to anyone, never mind a Marine. It were a good scrap.
Good scrap, yeah.
Remember bashing him as hard as I could in his head, and it was just like I was hitting granite or something.
Yeah, I always knew him were tough, the Ox.
Yeah.
And obviously I thought I'm going to have to mention that one when I get in there, and I thought it might have been a tough night. So and then he brought you down. Head of concrete then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like, I don't think he really caught me with an air on like that. But probably just because I would have hitting him that many times to do that. But I don't mean I battered him or not like that. It was just a good scrap.
Yeah.
But it used to be, obviously, we all audience, because I used to sell loads of tickets and loads come down. With racket he used to make, it just made it all better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to hear that. You sold some tickets, mate. But yeah, I had to get the Ox in, mate. And another one I used to see a bit of as well. You know, it says here TKO. Obviously, we don't know that, but you had Simon Cover, didn't you?
Yeah.
He was tough.
Simeon Culver.
Simeon Culver, yeah.
Yeah. I think I stopped him in about fifth round or something. It was
a good stoppage to have that, mate. You know, not many did.
We stopped boxing for a bit after, for a year or so, and then come back after, and he was doing well on road again and doing all right.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple of times, and he's on about coming on, but he's just getting the right time. But obviously, we had that one there, tough lads that I just mentioned, and then we start getting to real nitty gritty now, really, mate, don't we? Good start to career, 11-0, and then we see they step in to Sky Sports on Prizefighter, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, that's a big buzz for you, mate. And how did that come around to get that gig?
I don't know. It come out. I think we were second ones, because I think first Prizefighter were that, but an heavyweight.
Ollie Harrison win? I don't know who won the first heavyweight. Was it Rogan?
Rogan, him.
One? Yeah.
Because I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't mean skill, I mean the fact that he were a taxi driver and he were a proper entertaining, like, scrapper, weren't he? He wanted somebody who he hadn't been I'm not saying any boxer gets spoon-fed, but do you know what I mean? He's not being looked after. He's just got on there and he's won.
Yeah.
I think, did he beat Harrison as well?
He did, I think, yeah.
So, yeah, I did like it. But obviously, we come on second one. They come on and said, Glyn was saying, you're on Prizefighter. I went, all right, Glyn, whatever. And then, no, you're on. So anyway, then it come on. Then we're going down. Went down to hotel to do all that. We have to shadow box. He was telling me to shadow box. I'm going, do what? Shadow box. I've never ever shadow boxed in my life. Just pretend to be punching someone. All right. So I had to do all that. Stayed in a hotel. that night. Thought I got scabies when I got home, but then realised I ain't got scabies. I'd washed my clothes with insulation because I'd been to it loft. But scratching like mad. I was blaming Glyn saying he'd getting something from hotel. But no, it was great experience that, because your call when you're boxing in it, it's brilliant, especially if it were full, because obviously I boxed Tony Oakey and he sold loads of tickets.
He was a massive seller, wasn't he?
I think he might have even sold, I don't mean that sounds a bit big-headed, but he might have sold more than me. I sold over 200 again. He probably did sell well over that. But they were all there. There were no miver or no nastiness or like that, like you won't get it at football or out. But when you get into the ring, it seems as if like the top tier were like practically touching you. I remember turning around to Glyn and just saying to him, "Gee, how loud is this?" And he went, he said, breathe, like, take it all in. He says, because you'll not get this again.
Did he come down to Okie?
I can't remember.
He always come down to Okie, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah. He will have done.
I bet he did. He's got to have done it on Sky. But I tell you what, that was worthy of the final, that fight.
Yeah.
It really was.
I said it, perhaps, because I used to because obviously I used to rely on my fitness to do it, because I've always been like quite fit. So I used to rely on the fact that I could just go for like 3 minutes, but obviously he was the same. But with him, I'd watched him box. I used to like watching him box. And he used to, when I'm saying same as me, obviously, quite a bit more skillful. He'd box same as me. So I thought, well, sound I'd be all right if he boxes that. But he didn't. He had a lot more intelligence about him. He were hitting me 2 or 3 times, pulling me out of the way, pushing me out of the way, hitting me a couple more times and just doing that. And obviously deserved, got points win over us.
It was a good fight, that, from what I gather. So what prize money at that time for that? Was it 5? They used to go up in $5,000, or what? Because you won at early ones. You might have got the money after.
Well, we told this bloke from local pub that I got $25,000 just because he were annoying us, and he were always on about money. But it weren't. It were obviously winner got 25.
Yeah.
To go on it, you got 4-8 for semis.
Yeah.
12 for runner up.
Yeah.
Obviously, then you paid your fees out of that. So it was obviously, if we won it, we're brilliant. The rest of it were all right. But no, we told local blokes, you're always obsessed with money. If you mention money with boxing, he was like, stick his ear out and listen.
There's always one, isn't there?
So I went, where? No, 57. 57. And he turned round and pretending he weren't listening, turned round and went, 57? You only got 25 if you won. I went, no, that was prize money. You obviously got attendance fee for going on it. You just turned around like that thinking, Jesus.
That's great. That's brilliant, that, mate. But didn't Tony go on and win it?
Yeah, he won it.
Yeah, I thought he did. And it was worth in a final, that fight. I know we mentioned, we clicked on that when Carl Wilde won in studio about your fight with that, mate. So yeah, a good experience. But a good build-up for a week. I think it's a good thing to be on that prize fighter, mate. I mean, that'll never go away from you. It's a good thing to have on your record. I'm really proud of that.
I know, just before you go on, I know you mentioned he come down to Okie. What were your ring walk music?
Chelsea Dagger at first, then in end it were Bad Moon Rising with Clearwater, but it were always Chelsea Dagger at first. So that used to be good when everyone used to join in with that.
Oh, it's a favourite.
What other one? Bad
Moon Rising.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I don't think I can.
You do know it.
I will know it then, but obviously Scarfe is a music man. I'm trying to think of that.
I used to play that in one of the first bands I did for 20 years ago, yeah. I hated playing it, actually.
Well, so I guess I come back, Billy. We can get him on bass for this. So, yeah. It's always good to have a prize fighter on, mate.
Yeah. I said, with prize fighter, well, like, I don't know how to put it, but they treat you like really good, looked after you. I said, when we went from hotel to excuse me, to your call, or you're getting a taxi here, we'll send you. So we were obviously expecting a black taxi. We'd been in a hotel with like a good hotel in London. Goes outside, a big limousine, Hummer limousine pulls up. And we're only like one space. So Glyn's going, what's he doing parking near? He says, go and tell him to shift and wait for his taxi to come. I'm like, no, you're going to... Anyway, we're chuntering, blokes come out and shout with my name. I went, what? And he went, Wait, she lifted. You're cool. So obviously we went back in this massive limo thing. So you get there, then you go into changing rooms, and changing rooms are like a toilet. It's like 80 getting changed. Going, this is home, a British boxer, you're getting changed in a disabled toilet or something, 80. And it were nobody were talking to anyone because they were all thinking, wait, if I win, I'm going to be fighting him. You want to be fighting him? But yeah, and then after the fight, I'm sat with all my mates watching like Tony Oakey, and comes out and goes, Billy, come here, I've got something for you for obviously coming on show. So my mate's going, wait, what's he gaining? So anyway, this bloke takes us to the bike, comes back, 3 pairs of Lonsdale boxer shorts and a pair of socks. What? It might have been Everlast. Well, what's relevance of that?
I bet the mate's thinking, if that had been on Scarfe, if that was Scarfe,
they won't believe me. They thought they were giving me money or something, extra money or something.
I'd have thought Scarfe's going to get some round. He's going to come back with a big brown envelope full of money. For fight at need.
They still don't believe me now. They still thought they must have given me something off.
Yeah. It's like when you go on a game show and you get a participation mug.
Yes.
Or something.
Blankety blank checkbook and pen.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, that were a good one to have, mate. And I've never had anybody come on. We had a few lads who've been on Prizefighter, and they all said they've been amazing on it. And you've just said the same there. But we'll go on to a bit of better things there, mate. I mean, you went and after you'd come out on Prizefighter, you had your first 10 rounder, didn't you, against Sean Davis?
Sean Davis, yeah.
So that was a nice one to get back in. Were you all right doing 10 rounds, mate?
No problems. Apart from the fact you were punching me, but my heads, both of his heads after that looked like we'd been run all and reversed all twice. We were both in a right state, but it were a good proper scrap because he's a proper tough kid and a nice kid and all. But yeah, it was nice to obviously win. But last round, especially, I still remember it now. It were a case of he were battering me, then I'd batter him, crowd would be going mad, then he'd batter me, crowd would go quiet, then he'd come mad again. Then bell went for, obviously Glyn said, no, you definitely won the whole list, but obviously at the time I didn't. I just thought I hadn't stopped him, so it's anyone's.
Yeah, good 10 round to get through them, mate. So, unfortunately, we're not going to stay on a winning run for long, mate, but good God, the cracking fighter to come back with. I've heard he's a really nice guy as well. Old Nathan Cleverly, mate.
I could still be boxing now with him, and I don't think I'd have hit him. I remember him getting in ring, and you think he was 6'3", and like sizing him, you thought, damn, he's like not intimidating stuff like that, but you just thought, how on earth does he get down to 12? So then when he turned to the side, you thought, oh, he'll be really thin. No, he's not. They thought, well, he'll have skinny legs. No. I thought, how does he get down to that weight? And then what he'd do is practically stand over end at ring and jab you. And you think, what am I supposed to do here with somebody's arm? But best thing we got, like when they do the measure off, like tailor tape or whatever they called it. They measured mine from one hand to other. I was 6'3". I'm only 5'11". They measured him, he was 6'2". So I had actually better reach than him. I just couldn't get anywhere near him.
Good fighter though, mate.
He was like, he'd been doing it since he was 10. I'd practically been doing it 10 months, but it was stuff, even when I got close to him, he'd just turn you around, you're like punching fresh air. What's he doing here? Like a magician.
Nice guy though, isn't he? Well, the Nathan. You say you met him after he come and charge you?
He was down at York Hall again, and we were out back at stage, and they were like a blonde-haired lass, and she kept she was sat, we were stood up, and she was sat like probably about 20 yards away. She kept like smiling at me. I thought, she looking at? Like, oh. Anyway, she carried on, like smiling, trying to get me attention. I thought, next thing I've noticed this big bloke get up at the side. I thought, not a chance. I ain't done all. I've not even looked at her. So he's not going to say out to me. Starts walking off. I thought, I know him. Sticks his hand out straight away at Nathan Clever. He goes, all right, but he goes, oh, lass has just seen you. She thought it with you. Like, hugged her, shook his hand. He goes, how are you going on? I told him everything. Obviously, he'd just fought Tony Bellew. So we were just talking about that, saying it was first one, saying he was glad to get it out of the way. But no, we were a really good, really like one of them who'll go out in his way to talk to you.
That's what you're wanting, you know what I mean? Very humble guy, very clever guy, one a big mathematician as well, from what I gather as well. Like,
he told, before the fight, he told Glyn, he goes, was doing a master's degree because we're all sat down, and said to Glenn, he goes, "Oh, I'm doing a master's degree." So Glenn went, "Well, what are you going to do when you've got a master's degree?" So I went, "Oh, I'll get a job in City." So Glenn genuinely went, "What, like at market or something like that?" I even I looked at Glenn for, what do you mean? Like, to me, I don't know if I don't think he was winding us up. I think it was being genuine. What, in market or something like that?
Crazy, mate, crazy. And then after that, we lost on points to a guy who gets mentioned from a few fighters. Not a very popular fighter, but he's been mentioned on our show a few times. You lost on points to Carl Dilks, didn't you?
Yeah, for British Masters thing, yeah. What
do you reckon to him? What are you close fight or?
I don't know, because the way I see it, we out like that is if you can't stop someone, it's somebody else's opinion. So it weren't one of them where I'd say, "Oh, I won." The way they get it, I think they might have getting it something like, I don't know, 8 rounds to 2.
Yeah.
So it was a bit closer than that, but it weren't. In my opinion, it weren't. "Oh, I won that. He's cheating." No, none of that. But he went in army with Ross. Well, actually, he went in army with Ross.
He won in army, Ross.
Ah, of course he were. I got Victoria Cross and all. But no, he went obviously in army, and then he'd left and then boxed, and Ross knew him. Whereas Ross joined the army, passed his training to be, I don't even know what he were, rifles or something. And then they put him on Manning for recruiting team, so he never did a day's soldiering. I wind him up with that all the time, but it's true.
He's a good lad, he's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
I need to buy him another coffee sometime. It's been too long. If he said he wants to come on show one day, do you think he's too good?
He thinks he's too good for everything. But no. Yeah, he's a good lad, Ross. But Ross lived at my house. He tells everyone to live with me. He didn't live with me. He lived at my house. It sounds a bit, again, suspect. But no, I let him live at my house for about 3 months. I ended up telling him to get out. Because one night, I get a phone call off somebody who I'd never know. I was in bed. It was like a Friday. I work it next morning. Ross has knocked out at the bottom of your drive. I goes, "Who's this?" "Vardy." "Who?" "Jamie Vardy." What the fuck? So I've gone down to drive, and I know he used to play for Stocksbridge or something like that. So I've gone down to drive, and goes, "We're thinking Ross was scrapping." So I've gone down to drive. So where's Ross? Up my neighbour, who I've never spoke to, up their drive, it booted his car fast asleep.
Oh, Ross.
Where is this anyway? I've opened boot, it's fast asleep. So I thought, if neighbours come out down and see me, I don't know him, I've never seen him, they're going to think we're breaking into the car. So I picked Ross up, put him on my shoulders. I went to pick him up, he's like, struggle. So I strangled him, put him on my boot, just lobbed him in bed. And he's like, Jamie Vardy's going, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm going, "Why have you let him go up there?" I had to go at them, and then anyway, and then obviously I had another go at Ross next day.
You can't help but love the guy, though. I love him to bits, and I hope we haven't upset you there, Ross, with anything. It's all good fun, obviously.
I could tell him about High Green, Ross, but I won't.
No, that could be another podcast. He might tell us when he comes on. And who'd have thought Jamie Vardy had got to mention it? So that's... I don't know, mate. But this would be one for me, mate. After you fought Carl Dilks, right, what went wrong here? We lost on points to Hastings Rizani, didn't we? The old Zimbabwean road warrior. What happened?
Right. There's two... Well, we were out drinking about a week before, and we were with Carlisle, and there was a kid, he says, he goes, he knows Howard Foster. I was all jokingly, tell him he's Ben, he's worst referee I've ever had. Obviously, I had a drink laughing. Anyway, the fight happens. Everyone, 6 rounder, everyone says you battered him for 4, possibly drawn 1 and won 1 round. Anyway, Howard Foster gives him result. So we were like saying, it's obviously that. It weren't, but
because he were a proper road warrior when he Hastings. Yeah. Jesus. Another one, resigns in Birmingham. Don't they all? All the road warriors do, mate. So if they didn't say that about Howard Foster, mate, that could be another nice win on the belt, couldn't it?
But no, we're not saying that. We were joking saying that, and then somebody said, "Wait, I wonder if he's..." And I went, "He wouldn't have done that. He's too professional." But obviously it sounds better me saying that.
No, all in good fun, mate. All in good fun. And then obviously after that, another cracking fighter, mate. Ovill McKenzie, mate.
Yeah. I'd been on holiday week before. I had to pay for my granite worktop for house. And I'd been getting headaches ever since that Sean Davis fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd sparred with Ovill before, and he's a right nice kid.
He is a nice guy.
He goes out on his way and all say hello to you.
He does.
And anyway, fights him, drops me, and it's on telly, playing it in front of everyone to see and all. Anyway, it gets up, I looks for, he's bleeding, two of them. I thought, hey, I can't see properly. I thought I must have Vaseline in my eye. My eye started hurting a bit, but not a lot. Anyway, trying to rub it, carries on scrapping. He hits me again, and it went from, I had double vision. It went from double vision to seeing no. And I just couldn't see out, and you can see out last fight, I'm just wandering down ringers, he's hitting me. It was as if he'd poked me in the eye, and then obviously pain started hurting on after the fight.
Yeah.
And I brought me orbital floor where your eyeball sits.
Oh.
So, like, when people say, I brought my eye socket, they hadn't brought the cheekbone, I brought where your eyeball sits. Surgeon said, they reckon I'd possibly broke it when I fought that Sean Davis, but obviously it opened up when I fought Ovill McKenzie because he could clout.
I don't forget when he tonked Bellew over. That was funny, wasn't it? He didn't win that fight, but I don't think anyone expected him to knock him down like that, was there? But he's a true gentleman, isn't he? He's Ovill. He's got his own gym now. Is it the Commonwealth Gym or something he's open now where he is? I've seen that on Facebook. He's doing really well. Well into his cooking.
Is he?
Aye. And he's a true gentleman, mate. But he could bang, couldn't he?
He could definitely bang.
So you were fighting two Ovill McKenzies that night then, mate, for a while.
Fighting two, and you think, well, you're supposed to hit middle one if you've got not double vision, but I couldn't even do that. And obviously, you've one on your left and one on your right, and they're both connecting with you at the same time for your eyes. You thought, what am I supposed to do here? I'm rubbing my eye like mad, thinking it was Vaseline that were in. But I'm just glad my mates, they all went down. He says, we're going to go down with Ovill. Do you know the bird?
Yeah.
That green bird.
Yeah.
I went, you're not. I said, don't wind him up anymore.
That'd be good though.
Don't wind him up anymore than you need to. Keep an Ovill, ain't it?
Yeah.
God, no. Yeah, I hate that duck.
Yeah, that would be funny, that. It'd have been funny, that. I think it was a good idea. But then obviously, this is a good experience for you, mate. I think we talked about this, met up before. You went over... And you fought Dustin Dirks in Germany, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that a good experience?
Yeah, that were me getting ready fight back in after I brought my eye socket. Cheers, Glenn. But I was supposed to fight, I don't know who it was, somebody down in London. So he told us on Thursday, he goes, your fight's off. So I was like, oh, no. So he goes, but I've got you a good fight in Germany against, and I went, how much? So do you want to know who it's against? I'm not bothered who it's against. He went, well, you're going to Germany, all this, all that. So anyway, goes to Germany, and it was some world title fight. I don't know the names. At Rostock, there were 7,000 people watching. But they are a bit weird, Germans. Because they sit, like when British fight, they're horrible to each other, aren't they, and stuff. Like, I don't know, you might get some from Leeds, some from Bristol. But they're all sat there just getting golf claps out. So you're thinking, obviously, me and him's boxing. And you couldn't hardly hear a crowd at all until one of us landed mainly him landed a punch. But same again, they pick you up in phaetons, aren't they? Them big things. Done down Autobahn, doing about 140 or something more. I was sat here like, slow down. You're not getting any faster. But I boxed him. I rung my mate up who knew more about boxing than me. And he goes, you're fighting? So I told him, like Dustin Dirks. I goes, what's it like? He goes, give us a minute, I'll ring you back. So he rings us back. Normally he's like, don't worry, you'll batter him, you'll do this, that, other. Rings us back, he went, he's not fought anyone like you. What do you mean? He went, well, he's not fought cleverly, just keep moving. And I went, well, you're about, I've never moved one, put the phone down on me. Then obviously I got back and saw videos that he was seeing for. No wonder he was saying that. Kids dancing round him, hitting him. Then he hits them once and they're like, whoa. Yeah. And stops him.
Bit of a toughie, wasn't he, mate?
He hit me on end at first round. Bell went, to me, it was plain as day. Bell went. I've put my hands down. He's gone, bang, hit me on side. I thought, clear as out, I'd said to the referee, what, you're all right with that when Bell's gone hitting me? Obviously, I've seen video after. It looks like I'm going, just sit down in the corner. Suddenly I thought, Jesus. I ended up with a massive lump on my head where he was just jabbing me. And it ended up getting that, like even just off a jab, it was getting painful with him hitting me. Like, my eyes, both eyes ended up being closed later on.
Wow.
But I dropped us with a body shot. I called Ilks hitters with the same shot, but he is with body shot like an idiot. I went down. It takes like 10, 15 seconds to go out. Called Dilks hit me with it, got winded me. It's one of them where you make that daft noise. So I stood there and called Dilks won't go near us, but obviously I went down with that Dilks. Dirks, Dustin Dirks. Goes to get back up, and referee went, "You all right?" So obviously I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sound." He just went, "No, you're not." And waved it off. Oh, then I went back down after that.
Was that your biggest payday?
No.
I thought that would have been. I didn't want to know how much. I just thought that might have been the one.
No.
You know, we're going away and...
No, it was paid in euros, which Glyn told me it was in pounds. It went pound, well, like, threepence hate me compared with bleeding euro. So I thought, hey, sound.
Did they pay you in euros then?
Yeah, they paid me in euros.
Yeah.
In actual cash euros. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? But no, Cleverly, biggest one.
Biggest one. You see, I just thought we'd been... Makes sense, Cleverly be a biggest payday, obviously. Because I take it you were in Wales, that fight, wasn't it?
No, it was at your call.
Were it your call?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Actually, you just said that, yeah. Silly me. I just thought with Justin Dirks being at short notice and you going over there, I thought that might have been your biggest payday.
No.
But no, Cleverly what?
Yeah. But then after fight, obviously you're not supposed to drink. I'm like, all right. I've gone down, my eyes are nearly closed. We've gone into the bar where all spectators are. We sat down in the middle of the bar, having a drink, me and Les, because Les went away with us. Having a drink next thing, all smashing, kicking off. They were like, I don't know if they were like Turkish fans or something like that against German, not football, but they all like that. And they're all kicking off around, all scrapping round us. Les is like pulling us. I went, oh, just stay here, just ignore them, all scrapping round us. But then they were like sort of stopping to look at the state of my face.
Yeah.
And then what's happened to him? Like, but then obviously they finished and we went. But then next day, I had some bright idea because I wanted to get back to go down to Shakespeare down in Hillsborough. To get back, we weren't flying till, I don't know, say 6 o'clock, something like that, or a bit later. Get to airport on first transport and we'll get an earlier flight. Les is like, no, we won't. We will, Les, we will. Anyway, it gets to airport. We couldn't get an earlier flight. We were in airport 13 hours. At this point, my eyes had completely closed. My head were a right mess. And when Germans walk past you, you know, like if you see someone with something on their face, you'll look and then look away and think, no, I'm not staring. Germans were stopping, staring, just looking at you like that. But then getting up playing, and they're all scousers, all whatever you call them, aerostesses, but blokes. Oh, I suppose other guy were a right mess. Yeah, I knocked him out. Did you?
Yeah, well, that were a good... Well, it was a good experience in all, apart from your face, mate. And the body shot.
And after that were on about there were 7,000 watching.
Yeah.
They were quite as old, so I thought they must have been concourse getting a drink or something. After the fight had finished, a lot of them stood up clapping. I thought, the proper boxing fans.
Yeah. They are very respectful, the Germans. Yeah, they are very nice. Well, they say they're very nice people. Yeah. You're a bit of German yourself, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I've been a couple of times, I know.
A bit of German in a Scarfe. So when they went World Cup or something, it's always
a joke out of that, but we'll not.
No, we're not going to make a joke out of that. And then a guy I used to like to watch box after that. I don't know if you remember much about him. China Clark.
Yeah, boxed him at Leeds.
But it nearly beginning his career, that.
I don't know. I thought it were 2011.
Well, obviously one of your back ends.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just starting out. Or
because I don't think he'd had many. He'd only had like 5 or 6. I know that. I'm not going to say I won that one, but it was one of them what you'd say were a lot closer, if not that. But no, they were all right. They weren't outright memorable, apart from it were in Leeds.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that says he went on to have a half decent career in China, didn't he? Yeah.
Because they were saying to me before, oh, he's good. Oh, he can do this, he can do that. And it were all right. He obviously won, but yeah.
Yeah, not to worry about there, mate. But going on to one last fighter I wanted to mention before it come to close to your career, mate. Mentioned this guy before, I think it was only, I can't remember who it was, but someone else fought him as well. Joe McIntyre you fought, didn't you?
Where was that at?
I don't know, he's a Portsmouth lad.
Mentioned before. I was just going to say, I fought him down at Brighton.
Right, that makes sense.
Because I remember that, and I thought, Tony Oakey were here as well, and I was talking to him down there. I remember that.
Yeah.
Just
nothing special.
No, really that good. I know he were a bit, not nasty, a bit mardy.
What,
Because I never held on. I think I held on once to Dustin Dirks because I tripped over, so I held on to him so I didn't fall. But I used to get held on to probably 4 or 5 times around. Referee never said, oh. And then once with him, I think same again, I don't know if he grabbed me or I grabbed him. Like, he weren't a puncher out, and he was like, get off. Like, push the knobhead.
Yeah. But he's still going, you know.
Is he?
He's just lost this month to Shakan Pitters.
Yeah.
So it was a good one to get on last. I can't remember who we had on the show a few weeks back, and he fought him as well. And at the time, it was before he was going to fight Shakan Pitters. So obviously, we've had you on since, Bill, and he's lost to him. So you don't remember about that then, mate.
He was good, but no, he weren't like Cleverly or Dustin Dirks or even like Ovill McKenzie or Tony Oakey. They were no. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying he'd probably only just turned pro at that point.
He had, yeah. But yeah, we've won a good one to that record, mate. I said you don't go with Shakan Pitters, do you, unless you made something to yourself, mate. Yeah. So are we going to say that your biggest payday were also your toughest opponent in Nathan Cleverly, would you say?
I can't, because I didn't last long. I didn't even hit him, so I don't know how tough he were. Got class headbutting his fist as me hitting him, can I? But no. Probably toughest would be either Sean Davis or
Dustin
Dirks. Because that Dustin Dirks was a bit weird. He just never... He had about the same movement that I had, but... You just couldn't, I don't know what it was, you just couldn't seem to properly hit him. And if you did, it didn't really affect him. Whereas Sean Davis, it might have affected him, but he just come back at you straight away.
It was a good win now, that Sean Davis. That was probably one of your better wins, you say?
I felt
probably your first 10-rounder.
Yeah, I felt horrible. I think I went home and threw up, because I think I had concussion, but obviously if I'd done my eye, that's probably why.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
And
well, that's me done, but we'll carry on. Is there anyone that wants to mention, Billy?
There's people like I said, my mate's dad sponsored and that. Used to get people trying to offer you money all the time, and I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old bloke. Why would you take money off another man? I'm not doing you any favours, as in. But then, like my mate's dad, he'd go out on his way to try and help you and stuff like Steve Carr, like stuff like that. But then you had people like Glyn, Les, Matt, John Wood, who used to take us all over, amateurs. Because, like, when we turned pro, when I were at amateurs, obviously John knew that I couldn't box to save my life, but he knew that I could put pressure on him. Yeah. So he just used to say, run out, first punch, overhand right, hit him with that, and then just batter him. He says, just do that. Obviously, then when I went pro, Glenn's going, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're not going to be able to keep that up for 6 rounds. And I am. So obviously, I just carried on doing that. So obviously, thanks to them. But it's like, people like Glyn, they don't really get as much credit as what they think, because, this might sound stupid now, that when I was, say, 14, 15, you couldn't go past the bus stop without it being smashed up or a wheelie bin on fire. Yeah. Because kids they still had boxing, and that, but they didn't, know what I mean? They didn't go as much as probably what they do now. Whereas now, obviously, they've got something to do with the amount of kids he's took from that. Because like I was saying before, I used to piss about and be an idiot with football and what have you. He stopped me doing that straight away. So he just gives people things to do.
Are we still in contact with Glyn?
Yeah. All the time, yeah.
Right then. Well, Carl Wilde failed on the mission. I'm going to set you on the mission, Billy. Can you get me a copy of his book signed?
I'm trying to think if I owe him 20 quid for one I got off him.
Right, forget about it. Yeah, I'm not paying him 40.
No, I'll get it to get one, yeah.
But I just thought I mentioned that book, like, it's got a lot of... I bet it's a good book to read, that, and obviously I do like to, if possible, get it from the person themselves.
Well, I invited him on. I messaged him on Instagram.
I don't know if he's particularly busy on Instagram, like. Just to say, do you fancy come on? You've been mentioned loads of times by people. We'd love to have him on, like. So.
Yeah, I think we're just getting started. Like I said, we're only a small little thing, aren't we? But if he wants to come on, he's more than welcome to come on. And like he said, I just think it's important, like, before we finish, Bill, that you mention them people because, they don't get enough mentions. And I'd never like people to finish an interview with that and, mention the guys who are important to them. And I'm glad we've done that, mate. So I'd just like to say thanks for coming on, Billy, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Oh, cheers. Thanks for
having me.
And
wishing you all the best.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.